Hello everyone and welcome to a video on how to make any kind of money on GTA. I'm going to be doing basically my daily run that I do pretty much every day. What I do every day will be on in the background. So if you just want to carbon copy this, that's fine. But if you want, listen and see what I have to say. I will give you 5, 6 different ways. Without any further ado, let's just get straight into it. So, the first quick way to make money, the first dynamic way to make money would be a simple thing like your weeklies. And what do I mean by weeklies? By weeklies, what I mean is what Rockstar decide to put on discount and decide to put on double money and triple money and all of that every week. Now, typically, it's not good money, right? It isn't good money. It's not great. It doesn't earn you a lot. However, it's still money. If you want to play the game as intended, and you want to play the game simply just to enjoy the game, then that's pretty much your best way of doing it. You know, you can end up racing certain missions, contact missions, weekly challenges. All of these things are things that change every Thursday, and you can play it for a couple of hours a day or for a few days, and you can earn yourself probably the lowest amount of money in this whole video. However, it's at least a dynamic way to play. It's not so strict, it's not so routine, and usually with routines it gets tiresome. People don't want to be doing them constantly, do they? So I think that's a very quick highlight to do at the beginning. Now, the actual ways of making money, the real legitimate ways of making good money, is the one that I'm going to bring up, the one that I use first, and that is AFK, right? Where pretty much I will leave my console on overnight in the nightclub, stuck on the DJ cameras, for example. There are multiple other ways to leave your account signed in, and you will then accumulate stuff in nightclub via the vault that they have, or the safe, or whatever people want to be calling it. You also have ways as the agency. You have ways as the... I'm trying to think of the other place. What's it called? This one, the salvage yard. And also, kind of on a side note, kind of the auto shops. Kind of. That's very little money. However, it's still money. Now, I use this quite simply due to laziness, to be honest. I don't want to be playing the game for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end just to do nothing, right? Just to achieve very minimal. Or I don't want to be doing the same things over and over and over again, such as Cayo Perico Heist, which we'll get into a little later on. I don't want to be doing these repeatedly, constantly, day in, day out, as that wears the game down. It gets you bored, and then before you know it, you're going to stop playing for weeks on end because you've ended up getting bored shitless of it. Or you'll be at a point where you just don't want to do anything on the game anymore because you can't be asked. And it's understandable. So this, for me, it's easy. You know what I mean? I have 3 businesses running with AFK. The nightclub, their sal missions. I also have the acid lab, which is exactly what we need. And then on top of that, we have the bunker. And with the bunker, especially, the bunker is important. You know, the bunker is in fact important, as it is one of those businesses where it's little to no investment and you can make big money from it, and you can gain a lot from the game having the bunker. But your main income is pretty much the acid lab and the nightclubs. Now, the cons of using this, to be honest, is there pretty much isn't any, if I'm being honest. Other than, obviously, you know, your real life energy bill is going to go up. Fair enough. Other than that, it's the easiest way to make money. You know, it's not... It's basic. Do you know what I mean? You could jump in after a day of having your console on, or however long having your console on. I would usually have it on overnight, wake up, empty out all my safes, redo this run that you're seeing right now, and then pretty much leave it again until, say, after work, which then I'll go ahead and do all my sale missions and all of that. Just because I don't want to be doing multiple sale missions a day. It's a bit too much effort for me, because again, laziness. Now,
you're fine, right? Sure.
AFKing, honestly, quite cheesy. So if you don't want to do it, I understand. The next method is a little more well, it is hands-on. Is the Cayo Pericos. Now, you need to ask yourself really how you want to play. Do you want to play solo? Do you want to play in groups? Because if you want to play in groups, there are multiple heists that you can do. I don't play in groups. I don't play with anyone just because I don't have any specific times that I come on. So I can't dedicate myself to certain groups or certain friends who are able to also play at those times with me, because I'm on a rota at work. You know, I start at certain times, I finish at certain times. Sometimes I finish and start later. Sometimes I finish and start at different times altogether. So it's awkward. It's difficult for me to balance it out. So that's why I decided to play solo. So I can't really talk about what you could do in groups. However, you can also do other heists. And Cayo Perico, if you have a second person to do it with, and you both have Cayo Perico set up, you could ultimately do your heists, then their heists, and that will reduce the cooldown of Cayo Perico. Because for anyone who isn't aware, the Cayo Perico cooldown varies depending on whether you're solo or whether you're in groups. If you're solo, I believe it's a 3-hour cooldown. Whereas if you're in a group, I think it's half that. I think it's 90 minutes or an hour. So you are better off, realistically, you are better off playing with people, with other people. As that's technically the quickest way to make money. And by the time you've rinsed through 4 heists, your heist will be ready to start being redone. And by the time you've done that, and then done that heist again, everyone else's resets are done. And it's quite a simple concept, and you can just rinse them over and over again. Or if you're solo, another thing is multiple accounts. Now, some people aren't aware that you can have 2 characters on your account, and both characters have different cooldowns for the Cayo Perico heist, which means you can do back-to-back Cayo Perico heists per account. So you can jump on this character as I have now, and then you can go into your menus, manage characters, change the character, and then that allows you to do the heist all over again. So you can in fact do 2 heists after another very, very easily. It's not a chore. You don't have to do any weights. But again, it leads you to the difficult grind of playing the same thing over and over again. And again, this is something that not everyone's a fan of, and it's something that can get boring. However, that's probably the best way to make money if you want to be hands-on with the game. Now, the next one is businesses. What I mean by this is MC businesses, because by now you already know which businesses are good. I'm talking about MC businesses. You can make money with MC businesses. If you use the correct MC businesses, you can make money. I don't use these. The reason I don't use these is plain and simple due to I don't like all the sale missions. I don't like the RNG that the sale missions hold. I don't like the fact of if I don't get a good one, I'm going to have to reset the game. Because if I'm doing 5 MC business sale missions, I'm then going to have to go and potentially reset 5, 10, 15 times. And although it's not difficult to reset and you can be in and out in the same lobby within 20 seconds, it's still too time consuming for me to want to do that. Because again, that's another thing that gets the game feeling tired, feeling boring. And you need to just kind of... You need to find a balance yourself if you're willing to do that. By all means, do it. It's going to make you good money. But again, that's more dependent on what you enjoy. As I don't do it because it isn't as much money as, say, the Kaya Perico. You know, if you want to invest your time into Kaya Perico. Or if you want to mix and match and mix and match both of those, you do your Kaya Perico, whether you do 1, whether you do 2. And you've already got your businesses all filled up, so by the time you've done all of that, it's been a few hours. Most likely, the supplies are either done or nearly done. And then you can go ahead to sell. So you can mix and match, you can add them to it, but it creates more of an agenda for you to keep playing. And the aim for me is to do as much as I can in as little time as I have, as again, because of my rotated job and all of that, and the fact I want to play other games, I want to do as little as possible, but still trying to maximise the amount of money that I have without the necessity of sweating the game. Now, pretty much that's it. Pros and cons of that is there isn't any pros or cons. Do you know what I mean? It's a good way of making money, and you can either choose to or choose not to. The good thing is that MC business is completely optional. So I choose to opt out just because it's time consuming. So if you want to time consume, cool. If you don't, fair enough. It's completely your choice. The next one is special cargo and hangars, which is pretty much the final bit where I'll round off. So the special cargo and hangars are one of the, again, it comes under all of them. You can do this alongside anything you decide to do, so long as you prioritize them above pretty much everything else. Now you've got 2 options with both of those. You can either supply the hangars and the special cargo yourself, which would mean you have to put a payment investment in and then go and do a mission and then return the cargo to said cargo place, whether it's the hangar or a special cargo place. Or you do what I do, which is simply going to the place and paying someone else to do it. Now, although it is slower to do that way, it is technically better money. You earn more money per 1,000 or per 5,000, I believe, than you do doing the missions yourself. Other than the hangar, because the hangar you don't... There's no cost. As soon as you buy the hangar, that's it. You don't buy anything else. You can just... It's free to get any kind of stock, any kind of cargo. Now, the reason why I do it my way, well, my way, like no one else does it, but the reason why I have it in a way of all I do is resupply via the AIs in the via the NPCs in the hangars and the cargoes, is just so it's easy. I can get them all done within the space of 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and they are fully stocked up for the next hour. Right, and now I've got an hour to do whatever I want. And realistically, dollars to donuts, it makes more sense for you to do it that way and then spend that next hour grinding Kaya Perico, doing your sell missions, doing your resupply, not resupply missions, but having your businesses resupply instead of just spending time on those things alone. Now, those things alone still make very, very good money. And when it comes down to selling them, you'll make very, very, very good money. I will go on about private versus public selling missions, but you'll just have to bear with me in that. Now, going back to special and hangar cargo, there's not really much else, to be honest. Like, there's no details that you need to know about it. It isn't difficult. It isn't complex. It's really a simple thing of what will you want to do? Do you want to resupply it yourself? Do you want to pay someone to resupply it? And at the end of it, all you've got to do is sell it, and that's it. And you'll make bank. A full hangar makes you, if you just allow them to do it themselves even, they'll make, I believe, per place around $1 mil special cargo, 1.5 mil in public. I think. I could be way off, but then it's 2 to 2.5 million for the hangar, which is crazy money considering all you've done is put money into it, and you only put $500,000 into it or something like that. 600k, 700k. It's not massive amounts. With that, you are £2 million richer. All of those are investments, so you lose money, but ultimately make money in the end. And you make more money than the MC businesses on those. You make more money than pretty much anything else. But it's just the time frame that you don't make money on. But again, that's why you basically want to join the MC business, the hangar business, the special cargo business all together, for example, and do it the way that I have described, in which you just pay someone else to supply the cargo for it, and then you go ahead and carry on with your MC businesses or your Kaya Pericos or whatever else you decide to do to make money. And that's pretty much it. With regards to where you should sell, public or private, I would recommend selling your public lobbies. I would say, honestly, public lobbies you want to be doing, if you choose to do what I do, which at the very, very, very end after this I will tell you exactly what I do. If you choose to do what I do, which is, this is a weird angle, isn't it? Definitely shouldn't have reversed down here. If you choose to do what I do, then it depends on personal preference, to be perfectly honest. It depends on the risk to reward in your eyes. If you believe it is worth the risk to go into a public lobby and try and do some sal missions, do it. Right? I do. At the moment, I do all my sal missions on public lobbies. The ones that I don't think I will do, as I haven't yet, is special cargo. I think that's the only exception, just because the missions for that are usually quite slow. From what I used to do, from memory, as you know, I've played this game a little bit. I haven't played it too much recently, but when I used to play it 2-3 years ago, when I used to do special cargo, the missions are very slow. So I think it comes down to personal preference at that point. It comes down to what can you be asked to do. And again, it also depends on what's in the lobby. You know, you have to consider who's in the lobby and what type of players are in the lobby. You have to kind of look at who's dying, look at who's killing. You know, is someone just flying around in a jet in the middle of the map trying to kill people? You have to make that decision yourself. Now, what I do is pretty much as you've seen. I don't do Kaya Perico anymore. I used to. I don't anymore. Because, again, it's kind of run dry and dead for me. I've done all the achievements that I can do on Kaya Perico. So I don't do it anymore. I don't, you know, all the bonuses I don't get anymore. The only bonus that I could do now is because I still haven't got Pink Diamond or anything like that, would be getting Pink Diamond and getting the Panther statue. But again, it's so rare. I don't want to be doing it until I gain everything. Now, as you've seen, whenever I spawn back in, I will always spawn back in the same place, because I always choose to spawn into the nightclub. I will go into the nightclub, do what you need to do there, you know, resupply your stock, get what money out you save, and then I'll do exactly what you've seen in this video. And if you haven't been watching, you've just been listening, then just rewind the video, pull it on mute and just watch it, pull it on 2x speed and just watch. This is exactly what I do every day. You know, I restock everything. The only thing that I would add, though, is agency. As agency is dependent on how many missions you've done on it, when you go there to collect your money from the safe, have a look at the missions. To be honest, I only do specialist or specialist plus missions, because I can't be asked to jump in and just complete a mission every time. Again, depends on if you got time. If you have got time, do it. If you haven't got time, don't worry about it. I don't. But that's it. This is all I do. You know, the only addition to this would be the sound missions. I use the acid lab, the nightclub, and the bunker missions. They're the only sound missions that I do. Those three. Obviously, I also do hangar and special cargo, but they're a lot rarer. You do them once a fortnight, once a month, depending on how long you've grafted. Right? I don't do salvage yard vehicle robberies. They are fun, but they are not. They're too time consuming for the outpay, right? Because you've got to do setup, you've then got to do preparation missions, and then on top of that, you finish it off with doing the actual mission, and then you have to do the sal mission. It's too much. It's too much. You can bang it out in an hour and a half. Realistically, you can spend your time doing a Kaya Perico heist, and then if you think, wow, I ain't got one to do for the next 2 hours, well then go and do another one in your other account. If all your priority is to make money. But the bottom line is, do what's fun. Right? I've done this video today as someone asked me to. But do what's fun. Do what you enjoy. You don't want to be jumping into a game and just grinding for the sake of grinding. As it's not fair. It's not fair for you to just play the game in a way that you don't want to play it, or a game that you don't want to enjoy. If you want to make little money, day by day, week by week, month by month, and never do Kaya Perico, never do anything in game, just play and do races and whatever, fair enough. I would urge you to consider an AFK method, or I would also recommend doing certain sal missions like bunker, your nightclubs, and those sort of things. Purely just so at least there's something going on in the background. So if you're not making big money, at least it will add up over time. At least you know your time isn't being wasted making very little money and you're not doing anything in the background. At least if there's something going on in the background, you know you're there. You know what I mean? You know you're pretty much going to get there for money. It's a matter of time. It's a game that is trying to encourage you to spend money on. And that's why all the pay for the races and everything have gone downhill since the game started. But nevertheless, that is everything. That is everything. If there's any other ways to make money, let me know down in the comments, and we will see. I will potentially review them. I will potentially give my take on it. But I think that's what's important. This is the core element of the game. But thank you very much for watching. See you later.